In this video, we'll take a look at some of the icons that Moodle uses during the course creation process. It's important to understand what these icons do because they're a fundamental part of creating and using different resources. So what we have here is a completely blank course. Nothing's been added to it. All it has is this news forum right here, which is a standard feature in Moodle courses. It's just something that comes with every single brand new course with a news forum. The items to the left and to the right are called blocks, and we're going to talk about those in a later video, so I'm not going to spend any time on that right now. What I want to focus on is what happens in the topic outline and in the different topic areas when we try to add a resource. So the first thing we need to do is click Turn Editing On. When I click Turn Editing On, it's going to take this blank course and change it from the user side to the editor side, or editor mode, if you will. Okay. Notice next to my news forum, I've got a bunch of icons that have appeared. I have this option right here called Add a Resource, and this option called Add an Activity. Now, these icons are going to show up with every single resource and activity that you add to a course. So we're going to go ahead and talk about those real quick. Next to the news forum are these crosshairs. These crosshairs allow me to move a resource, and I do so by just left-clicking on the icon and moving it to where I want it to go. So I can move it all the way down to topic number 4 here, and if I wanted to, I could just move it back up to where I originally got it from. Okay. Notice too, each one of the topic areas have these crosshairs as well. So let's say I've added a bunch of material to this particular topic, topic number 1. Instead of moving each resource individually, I can just click on this and drag it all the way down to where I'd want it to be. Kind of a convenient feature. The next icon I want to talk about is this black arrow. What this allows you to do is to indent, or in this case to move right. Okay, you can do that as much as you want or as little as you want. We'll talk about why that's important in the future. It has to do with the way your user is viewing your course. The next icon I'd like to talk about is this hand holding a pencil. Okay, Moodle uses the term update. What this really means is edit. Anytime you see this, you're going to edit that particular resource. So if I wanted to change the name of this forum or change some features of it, I would click this icon and it would allow me to edit it. We'll show you what that looks like in a later video. Notice I have these hands with pencils right here as well, these edit icons. This will allow me to edit what I call a particular topic. This icon right here is duplicate. This is a nice new feature of Moodle 2. If I click on it, it's going to ask me, am I sure I want to duplicate this forum called News Forum? I'll click yes, continue. It will give me the option to go in and edit it, or just to return to the course. In this case, I'm just going to return to the course. Now look what it's done. It's given me another news forum. Now the reason why this is useful is because a lot of times you might use a similar or the same resource or activity, but change the name of it. For example, I might use a forum for every single unit that I teach, but I'm just going to change the name of that forum to Unit 1 Forum, Unit 2 Forum, Unit 3 Forum, and so on and so forth. If I use a duplicate feature, all I need to do is go in and edit and change the name of the forum, and it'll keep all my previous settings and all that kind of stuff. So it's a time saver. So once I've created a resource, if I want to get rid of it, all I do is simply click on the black X, delete. And that's our next icon that we're talking about. Okay, a very important icon to understand with Moodle is this eye. This eye allows you to hide or reveal different resources you've added to Moodle. So with that in mind, you could essentially add everything you ever use to teach, including quizzes and tests and that type of thing, to your Moodle course, and as long as you have this eye closed, your students do not have access to it. So here's what it looks like when you close the eye. Just click on it, the eye closes, and the resource kind of gets grayed out. That way I know as a teacher, students can't see this resource. If I click on that eye again, it appears again. Notice this is also located right here, so I can hide entire units at one time just by clicking on the eye. Now we don't have any resources in here yet, but they would all be hidden automatically. Okay, this icon right here will tell me if I'm using this with groups. Groups is something we're going to talk about a little bit later. It has to do with assigning students to, say, class hours or reading groups or something like that. With Moodle 2, you can decide to assign a resource just to a group. So I might have a forum just for my second hour class, and that's what you use that for. Same thing with the assign roles. I can decide what level of user can access this particular resource. And we'll talk about that at a later point in time as well. So those are the main icons that you'll want to get to know, and you'll use it with pretty much every resource and activity that you add. Speaking of resources and activities, once I turn my turn editing on, I click my turn editing button, it turned these items on as well. Add a resource and add an activity. Now, a resource, the best way to think of this is anything you give to a student. So if you would take a worksheet, make copies of it, and hand it out to your students, it would be a resource, and you would put it here. Use this for a resource. As a matter of fact, if I click this drop-down button, I see file right here. Okay. Again, a resource is anything I give to a student. We're going to talk about what each one of these are in later videos. An activity, then, is anything that students would give to you, like a forum, a chat, a quiz, a choice, a lesson, whatever it might be. That's where these items can be found. So if it's something I would give to a student, it would go under a resource. If it's something a student would give me or do for an assignment, it would go here and add an activity. One last thing, you'll see these little question mark dots located throughout Moodle. This is a quick help feature. If I click on this, it's just going to give me a very brief, very quick explanation of what the item is that it's next to. Okay. When I'm done adding content, I can just click Turn Editing Off. There it is. This has been an introduction to icons in Moodle 2.